I got to talk about Snoop Dogg and the Olympics. So we got this article that came out from The Independent. The jaw-dropping payday Snoop Dogg is reportedly making at the Paris 2024 Olympics. People were wondering, hey man, Snoop's all around. He's over here doing X, Y, and Z, hanging out with Martha Stewart at Michelin restaurants and everything. And he's got his equestrian gear on. He just loves the Olympics. Yeah, he loves it because it's...
This is Show versus Business. Pop culture beats pop money with your hosts, the real Theo Harvey and Mr. Benja. Mr. Benja, what's going on this week, man?
Hey man, two things going on this week, and they're two pretty big things. But guess what? There's a lot of things going on in those two big things. So we're not going to discuss a lot of material, but we're going to go deep in these two areas. We got some streaming news we want to talk about with Netflix, Peacock, WBD, that's Warner Brothers Discovery, Disney Plus, and all that. And that's our streaming news. And we've also got the Olympics, because we always talk about the hot stuff going on, and the Olympics is hot right now. And man, it's just been invigorating people. So we're gonna stick with the Olympics another week, and it's gonna be good, man. So Theo, I know that's not a large breadth of things to talk about, but how does it sound to you?
Man, this sounds awesome, man. I was in Gotham City this week, man. Gotham City,
Oh,
also known as New York. So yeah, I had an opportunity to go down to Manhattan, or what they call the city, and spend some time at a conference, a healthcare conference. And yeah, man, New York, man, it's got that vibe, man. It's that vibe, dude. I was not too far from Rockefeller Center, Central Park, Fifth Avenue. So got up in the mornings, did my little walk around across the city. It's just amazing to me how everything is just so close to everything else, but it takes you 2 hours. You're like, oh, this place is only 3 miles away, but it takes you 2 hours because of traffic.
wait,
It's
were you
it's
driving?
lovely. No, I was in the Uber and just trying to get around someplace. I said I could have just walked. It
Oh
would have been
man,
faster.
man, that's what I'm saying, man. I saw some of the last time I was out there. I saw these business dudes. They had these little packs, and they kept their like shoes and shirts in there. So anytime they stepped out and they had on their blazer or whatever, they flipped their blazer off and just threw on like a little windbreaker and threw on their walking shoes. And I was like, "Where you going?" That building right there, and it wasn't far. It was just like
Yeah,
freaking.
what an interesting city. Yeah, man. Like business folks on bikes. They have all these tons of city bikes now that you can just rent and ride around. Obviously, you got taxi, you got Uber, you got the subway, you got walk-in, you got cars, you got buses. And I'm sure when you highfalutin, because all the skyscrapers, they got helicopters, right, flying above you trying to go from buildings. So
Crazy.
it's amazing to me just how crazy that city is. But then I had a chance the second half of the week, me and my colleague, we went to Brooklyn. And I like Brooklyn, man. It's like a normal city. Yeah, downtown has some buildings and some stuff, but it's okay. This is like a normal city, like a walk around. Yeah, it's close by. I mean, a lot of folks still walking the streets of Flatbush and all that,
Yeah.
but it's still like a normal city. So I was like, okay, I could live in Brooklyn and then walk across that bridge, maybe go to Soho or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just being in. Now you can see why people from New York have that ego about them. It's especially you've done something there, people know you in that city. You like, what's that saying? You make it here, you can make it anywhere. You
Yeah.
feel it's because it's so massive and so many people live there. As a matter of fact, did you know how many people live in Montana compared to New York City?
No.
Montana's a state.
Yes.
I looked this up while I was walking around, right? There's only 1.5 million people that live in Montana,
What?
the state. Yes.
That's small when you think about it.
And then you know how many people live in just in Brooklyn? 2.5 million people. So one borough, one city is bigger than, has more dense population than a whole state in the United
That's
States. So you can
wild.
see it's just amazing how this all works out. And so now you get a sense of why New Englanders have a little ego about themselves, about the
Yeah.
rest of the country. But yeah, so I enjoyed it, man.
Yeah. Money aside, would you ever live there?
Probably Brooklyn. I told my wife today, I said, oh, yeah, we could do Brooklyn. I don't know. And then I like it because it's close enough to the city, Manhattan, where we could always just go over on the weekend and watch a play or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see myself. I never thought about it. I take that lie back. No, I know why. I know. I just thought about it. You know why I could live there?
Why is that?
Because it get cold. I can't stand no cold. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That the cold weather is nothing nice, son. I grew up in Florida and California, nah, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I could actually live there because I like having people around, but not necessarily having to talk to them. I think New York is good.
Facts. That's what I was thinking the same thing when I was out there. I said, hey, I don't feel lonely, but I don't have to talk to nobody.
Yeah, man. Just step outside. Hey, where can I get a good falafel? 2 blocks, take a right, go in that alley. Cool, man. And you're there. It's like falafel heaven. You
Yeah.
never knew it was there, and you lived there for 10 years.
I love it because you can be as friendly or as in your own words you want. Just put these little AirPods in. No one knows a wiser, man. Put your sunglasses on, AirPods, or you can be just looking at people smile. And sometimes they'll talk to you, sometimes they won't. But yeah, I liked it, man. Yeah, you're right. Good point. You don't really feel you can be alone, but you don't feel you can be lonely and alone. But yeah, I think you're right. So many people there. You just okay. I feel like I'm part of the human race, even though I'm not haven't talked to anybody in like weeks.
Of the rat race. Yeah.
I love it. What about you, man? How was your week?
Oh, week was cool, man. I started into a new book by our boy Benjamin Hardy, Dr. Benjamin
Okay.
Hardy. And I just decided to pick up Slipstream Time Hacking. This is one of his older ones, and some of his older ones have been dropping off. So I think he's letting go and consolidating his information and focus. But Slipstream Time Hacking was still available on Kindle, so I went and got it. And this is earlier on in his career. He's definitely on that metaphysical stuff to a certain degree. I don't know how much to because I'm only a quarter into the book, but I see why he's on Hay House Publications. By the way, Hay House, if you don't know, there's a lot of law of attraction, a lot of medical physical types on there. And I was wondering
Mm.
how this academic got on there. Boy, yeah, he starts in on the theory of relativity and light, goes into mathematical equations on time and talks about how Einstein
Ooh.
compares with Newton. And trust me, this is important for you to understand before I get into the meat of the discussion. And I'm like a quarter of the way through the book. Man, okay, we're about to time hack in some Star Trek kind of ways. So I'm in for it, man. I'm really still on the 80/20, trying to focus on things, move different things around. Definitely changed my mindset throughout the year in a lot of ways. So I'm gonna let you know if you see me next week and I actually look younger, it's because slipstream time hacking is working.
Okay. Oh man, I love it, man. Yeah, he may not say too much. He's a Mormon, and I think he's got definitely some spiritual aspect to him, but definitely and like I said, I'm all into his books too as well. I don't did I put you on it or did you know about him before I mentioned his name to you?
I think
Think you
we both knew of him individually.
Yeah, and like I said, I became a fan because he literally just dropped the book in my lap. He reached out to me and just, or one of his team members on
Mhm.
Instagram, said, "Hey, you want a book?" I was like, "Sure." And dropped the book. I gave it to my team members, and
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
don't know if they read it, but yeah. So I've been doing his program where every month I do my what's my goal for the month and track it to the year, and then I do weekly goals. So I've been pretty consistent since I did that his trial program. What was it? His end of the year program that he did last year for 2024. So he does this thing like the last 2 months of the year to prepare you for 2024 to get your 10x ready, jumpstart your end of the year. I might do it again this year. I thought it was pretty insightful. It really helped me out. But yeah, he's full all in on these books. So he's got another book coming out and he's doing his thing. So yeah, man, kudos to you, man. Like I said, I just finally finished the negotiation book that we talked about last time.
The
Man,
Chris Voss
never,
book.
yeah, Chris Voss Never Split the Difference. And I'm still trying to assimilate that information. But yeah, I'm looking for my next book to deep dive into. So I might check that out.
Yeah, how often do you go back to books?
Quite a bit to get hype. He might be person non grata right now, but Uncle G,
Mm,
Grant, Grant Cardone, give me hype when I want to be my sales joint and my sales bag. I'll go back to Hermosi. The offers is to make sure I'm thinking through some new offers I put out there.
yeah, yeah,
Even Russell with his thoughts on how to create brand or image and all that. His book, Expert Secrets. I think
yeah.
that's the blueprint on how you create any kind of expertise in the internet world. Yeah, those are the main ones I kind of go to. And then, of course, just every now and then, just to reread some stuff that I may have missed. It's always good to go back with new insight and a little older experience.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think the golden part of Grant's book, The 10X Rule, he's got that section towards the end, like it's a 22 or 28 things you
Mhm.
need to be 10x successful. And he just goes through them. And that whole thing gets me hyped because somewhere along the way, it's going to beat out some problem you're having or that I'm having at least. She's like, you got excuses. Let me say, I was tired. My car broke down. This happened. That happened. And he just lists them. And yeah, I get sick even saying it. Excuses. Get out of here with that. And he just goes on. And after listening to that, it's just like one chapter where he goes through the 10x things for success. And it's like, all right, that got me hyped. Yeah, I know what you mean, man.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, kudos to you, man. Do we want to celebrate a little milestone for us?
Absolutely. And always.
Show versus business. Ba, 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 ba. On our YouTube channel, we have reached 100 subscribers. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for listening. Obviously, we started this podcast a couple years ago, slowly growing it via audio. And I can't remember, when did we actually go to video, Mr. Benja? I can't even remember.
I remember some point we were talking about it, and I was thinking about the search algorithm, and you were thinking about podcast guests and getting them on visual. So somewhere between there, we decided, hey, let's start throwing up these podcasts on YouTube.
Mhm.
And it became a thing. Then YouTube Shorts became a thing. So we're like, hey, shorts, snippets, it's easier to do straight from YouTube. It's okay, cool. And yeah, it just grew from there. So I'm not sure when exactly that happened. I'd have to go back to the
Yeah, I'm actually right here, March 16th, 2021. We talked about coming to America too. We speak with lawyer Julius Adams on the future of contracts for content creators and artists. Then we check in on coming to America and give our verdict. Yeah. Okay. That was episode 13, Mr. Benja. Wow.
Mm,
Jeez. We've been doing this for a minute, huh?
yeah.
That's just the video.
That was 10x. That was we've 10x that number of videos. 13.
I
We're past 130. We're on 178.
I know, man. So yeah, hey guys, we do this, guys. We don't just play at this. We do this. We do this. So no, shout out to I think we really started taking it more serious this year and with our editor. Shout out James. Welcome to the team, James. Doing more with shorts, trying to just expand and tell more compelling stories to get people in, doing comments. People comment and like, and so we'll definitely give you a shout out. So yeah, man, Mr. Benja is a labor of love for both of us. We both have day jobs, but what keeps us going is just the talking to folks and just really for me, I don't know, Mr. Benja, what keeps you going doing it? For me, I'm learning so much just about YouTube in general, but also just keeping up with all the pop culture. That's always been fun. And it's something I would have done anyway. And in fact, I
Yeah.
get to talk to my best friend in the world every week. I
Hey,
think this is the most we talk to each other. Yeah, we talk to each other what, like maybe once a year up until this point. Now we talk to each other like once a week, and so that's been insightful. So yeah, so like I said, man, this is a labor of love, and so look, guys, we're gonna keep rolling. I'm good with it. What about you?
hey man, if you're a creative, you're probably prone to spinning off into the stars and just getting lost and then coming back and you're all discombobulated and messed up. And if you got a business guy or a guy you can always go to and be like, hey, what are we doing this week? He's like, hey, I'm consistent. I got a calendar over here. I got a plan over here. Things are happening. We're doing this. That's cool. All creatives need, you don't even need to be in the mix like that. You just need to tap in and be like, how you doing? And they'll say something that makes you think, oh yeah, the world does exist without me. So creatives could just go spinning off into whatever zone.
Well, no, and likewise, man, business, I'm logical, but I think I have an artist's heart in me, I don't know if I'm that talented or not, but I do like to write a few things and think about stuff. But I'm
Yeah.
always amazed at your thought process always impresses me because it's, man, how'd you come up with that? It's just you come up with these angles I never thought about before. I think that's the benefit of having an art guy or artist or someone who's more
Mhm.
creatively minded but business person, because then you're like, oh wow, I never thought of it like that. Because really, to be honest with you, the way to get competitive advantage, see, I'm about to be the business guy now. The way to get competitive advantage in any endeavor
Yep.
is you have to have a point of view that no one else sees. And if you can find that angle, it's looking at a problem, but if you look underneath the problem, above the problem, and it's like an angle that no one else saw before, then guess what? You can exploit that. And then now you have a competitive advantage that your competitors don't have. And so I think that's why it's important to work with artists and creators as a business person. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why we call this show versus business.
Yeah, definitely, man. And it's not, this is a Venn diagram of all types of dimensions. It's not even a two-dimensional Venn diagram. We come with different aspects and angles. You bring creative stuff up to me, and I'm like, holy crap, I need to go look into that. And sometimes I'll find a business book or something like, hey, you seen this? And it's holy Jesus, that's awesome. So yeah, we definitely share in that respect. But in fact, I know that I have certain creative guys that I go to where I'm like, I am just not creative. Let me go talk to this creative person over here. And they'll put me on game and I'll be like, holy crap, what was I thinking? I'm a sucker.
Oh yeah, same here, brother. Business is always a learning lesson. But yeah, I think ultimately we just want to say, hey, thank you for sticking with us. It's a labor of love. We're going to keep doing this. Please comment, subscribe. We're doing this early for a change. But yes, if you like what you hear, please give us insights, things that you want to hear us talk about. I think we do have a different perspective. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell this story. So I was looking at one of the top creators out there in this space of pop culture and comedy on pop culture was a Screen Crush, Mr. Benja.
Yeah.
I listened to this guys at Screen Crush, and they had an interview. And guess what they were talking about? It was very fascinating. And it was nothing against their race, but it was three white guys, right? They were talking about John DeMajors getting replaced by Robert Downey Jr. They were talking about potentially recasting T'Challa with Chadwick Boseman, who passed away, get another actor for that. And they forgot to mention that Rhodey was recast already from with Terrence Howard to Mr. Don Cheadle. So
Yeah.
I was like, here they're talking about casting folks differently and doing this and this. And it was like no perspective from a different racial background to give them a little bit more perspective. And I said, I think that's a unique approach that we can bring to it. I think we have in certain cases, just look at it from that lens. And so things like that, we're trying to figure out how we can get differentiate in the market for our own kind of point of view, not just as Black men, but just in general as our backgrounds and our thought processes and things like that. So that's my thought, is just we continue to innovate and differentiate what we talk about to all the other podcasts and other folks out there.
I agree.
Cool, man. Let's shoot. You want to get into the meat, the dirty meat of this episode, man? I'm super excited to talk about some of this stuff.
Hey, man, I want to get into somebody's wallet, man. I want to get into somebody's pockets. So right now, I got to talk about Snoop Dogg and the Olympics. So we got this article that came out from the Independent. The jaw-dropping payday Snoop Dogg is reportedly making at the Paris 2024 Olympics. Theo, have you heard about the fact that Snoop might be getting paid around $500,000 a day plus expenses to be around promoting the Olympics?
No.
Yeah.
I think I heard it from you, but tell me more.
Yeah, people were wondering, hey, man, Snoop's all around. He's over here doing X, Y, and Z, hanging out with Martha Stewart, Michelin restaurants and everything. And he's got his equestrian gear on. He just loves the Olympics. Yeah, he loves it because it's $500,000 a day plus expenses. And apparently this one guy, Henry L. McNamara, was breaking it down. And some people are saying that's like, hey, this is worth every penny because it's getting Snoop shine, it's getting the events that he goes to, it's getting them exposure, and it's what you would need to do in this influencer age online where all the Olympics are being shown on Peacock. It's not so much the same as it used to be on network TV. I think you need somebody who can be around and who's good with social media. So making themselves a presence out of Snoop. Hey, let's make ourselves, he's our mascot. I didn't want to say that word, just call Snoop like that. But yeah, make him a dang mascot and put him out there and get people paying attention because as far as I can tell, it's working.
Yeah, I don't know. Leslie Jones did something similar, like during the Tokyo Olympics, and she's doing it now. I don't know if you know the comedian Leslie Jones.
Yeah.
From Saturday Night Live, but she was all in on Olympics years ago, and she also did something during Tokyo Olympics, the COVID Olympics, for lack of a better word. But yeah, so they leveled up. Now, look, man, this is corporate synergy at its finest. This is on NBC, right? Guess what Snoop is promoting too while he's there? He's on the next season of The Voice. For whatever reason, he's a judge of The Voice for next season. So him just sitting around, goofing around, shitting around, just hanging out.
Yeah.
That's promoting. Yeah, it's like you're promoting. We talk about this all the time. Like I'm promoting something right now without even saying it, but I'm promoting something. You're promoting something too right now without saying it, right? Stuff that's behind us, but that's like Snoop. He's there. He's promoting something without saying it. He's promoting the voice that's coming out after the Olympics. And so I think there's a corporate synergy there too. But also, for whatever reason, Snoop we talked about this, that brand extension, right? His brand has become so wide and encompassing that he can pretty much represent anything. And so corporate America just feeds into that and just, hey, go to Olympics, and people eat it up. And I guess that's what's happening.
Yeah. In fact, Grant Cardone actually talked about this in his book, where he didn't have a name for it, but he was talking about say yes to everything. And because they wanted him as a personality. So he was going to go on and talk about real estate. They changed their minds. Then he said they wanted him on for politics. And yeah, I got you. And he started studying up on politics for a couple hours. And then they were like, you know what? We're not going to go the politics thing. We're going to have someone else discuss that. We want you here to talk about the monetary crisis on something. So it didn't matter. Even back when he wrote the book, it didn't matter. It's, hey, let's just get this guy on. He's a personality. He's a face. He can talk to people, and people will pay attention. Like Snoop is going to talk, and people will pay attention, and then they can go on and use that influence for whatever else.
Good point. Yeah. One thing I've been going deep dive onto just brand, and I was listening to Layla Hermosi, and then she said something similar to Alex Hermosi. He said brand is really association between two things. And so to your point, you can get close to Snoop, you get associated as cool. And so it's, or vice versa. And whatever you associate with, whoever's got the bigger brand, you can sprinkle some of their brand juice on you, for lack of a better term, to help your brand out. And that's what I'm realizing is, man, this is all this game is, man. It's just like, how do you level up your brand and as fast as possible so that you can do more with it? And I think that's another thing, right? They're taking some of that cool Snoop branding and put it across the whole Olympics space of it. And other athletes and other folks who are associated with them are using the same thing, right? Like Martha Stewart, right? She became super cool so she hung with Snoop. When did she was she ever cool before that? We knew of her, but it wasn't like the Black community wasn't like super down with her. It's like, okay, that's a white lady that does a TV show. Now all of a sudden she did her bid. Now she's hanging with Snoop. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, man. Props to Snoop, props to Martha Stewart and Leslie Jones too for setting the stage for a lot of this. She was looked her up as chief official. They gave her some funny name, chief official hype coordinator. I don't know, but yeah, glad she's doing the thing.
I love it, man. So you know who else I love? Other women like Leslie Jones who are dominating at the Olympics, man. Not just regular, but Black women, man. They are killing the game, man. Look, we all knew about Simone Biles, right? She's just the GOAT. She's so good that they named actually moves in the Olympic competition after her. So that's just a given, right? It's just once in a generation athletes. But some of the younger track stars that are coming up, right? Like Gabby Thomas, who just won a gold in the 200 meters. Sydney McLaughlin-Laverne, who won 400-meter hurdles. That's just like her event. She just recently broke her own world record in the hurdles. I don't know if you watched that race, but man, there was nobody even close to her. It was just, it's like you're just so good at this one thing that nobody can just beat you. You just beat yourself. That's basically what she was competing against. And that's all she does. She does that one thing and dominates. And then this young lady, Tara Davis Woodhall, she just won the gold in the long jump. So kudos to all of them. It's just really amazing to see young Black women just being so focused, and just as a father of a young daughter as well. It's just good to see. Because think about it, all these women are in their 20s, man. And they've been dedicated for so long. They talk about Gen Zers, all their slackers, they don't know anything. But this is that 0.1% that's out there that's just so dedicated, so focused at such a young age. That just like, wow, it gives you hope for the future. It's, wow, there are one. And some of them, let's be honest, look like supermodels, but they're like gorgeous, in shape, but just focus. And man, you just a whole nother level. You really don't have to do this, especially when you go into how much they make. It's what? You look like this. There's women that do far less get way more.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I looked it up before this. So for instance, Gabby Thomas, who she's probably one of the top known, but not as well known athletes out there. They said, okay, she's estimated to be worth about 1 to 5 million. But get this. So any race that she wins, if she wins a race, she gets $20,000. If she gets a gold medal, she gets an Olympics, she gets 37,500. And then because she's part of Alexis Ohanian's, Serena Williams' husband, he's got like his own kind of little thing. He's
Okay.
going to give cash prizes for $60,000 if you get a first place winner. So it's not a lot of money, especially if you don't win, you get nothing. But
Yeah.
you're talking about, what, 5 figures for just winning a medal? I thought that'd be at least be 6 figures, man. But it is really about you become a brand, and like you look at Simone Biles, she's worth 16 to 20 million dollars, right?
Yeah.
Because she's a brand. But it's like individually track athletes who are just good at one sport, and you see them every 4 years, they ain't making that much money. So kudos to these women, man, just dominating, being focused. And it's such an isolating sport. Think about this. You train 3 years, maybe, yes, you got world championships and stuff, but really it's the Olympics. Three years just to run 10 seconds or 20 seconds.
That's a weird pressure too, man.
And there's no telling, because yes, you may have ran the fastest time you ever ran in practice and you feel good about, but what if you're sick? What if you got the blocks wrong? What if you got nervous 1 second? What do you think about one thing? It's such that you got that 1 second to
Yeah.
be immortal, and that's it.
Yeah,
So
you know what? You're talking about timing so small. They used to shoot the pistol off on the side, and people would break from that. Apparently, if you're on one side of the track, the sound hits you at a slower pace than if you're on the far end of the track. So we're talking about milliseconds of sound hitting your ear, and that person on the far end getting a slight advantage. And that's enough of a thing that they decided to put the shooter on the back behind them and have like this it's the whole mechanical thing they have now set up where speakers are right behind the players, so it's guaranteed to go off at the same time for each player. But the fact that was a thing, and I spent like 10 minutes looking into that on this YouTube video, it's like that's fascinating. That's the kind of stuff that you're fighting for 4 years. And no, you're totally right. It's amazing.
exactly. And there's no telling if you're gonna be at your best or not that day. And it's a lot of pressure for being in your 20s. I can remember when I was in my 20s, shitting around. Could care less about getting ready for this race. And what if you get the ego, the big head, and you think you're all that, and you train just that little bit less, and then that next competitor has that much more on you. So they had this one guy, his name was Quincy Hall. I don't know if you saw it. It was a 400-meter race yesterday as we were recording this. He was fourth coming around that last 100 and 400 meters. I ran it in high school. It's not fun. That last 100 meters, your chest hurts, your
Yeah,
legs,
yeah.
you think you're about to die, right? Because it's a sprint. You got to run as fast as you can. So everybody's hurting that last 100 meters, but he was fourth. Go watch it on YouTube. James, I know you'll put it out there, but this dude came all the way from fourth. And he was just pain. His face was just grimacing, but he was just like, it's like, he just came back and he won from fourth.
I love
It
it.
was crazy, man. And so when you see that, you just, man, it's like he just had it that day, man. Whatever reason, some people just have it, man. Same thing happened with the 1500 meter. The American won because he just kicked it in at the last minute, and everybody else is just pain. He just went So it's just like that walk behind when you see people just run behind and catch up to people. That's amazing to me, man. So yeah, kudos to track stars, man, on all the things that they do. Real quick, did you hear about? And we'll talk about. Did you hear about the bronze goes to the fastest man alive?
Nah. I heard the name Noah Lyles, but I don't know the story behind it.
So Noah Lyles, he won the 100 meters, and that was another one that was amazing. If you watched it, I think he won by, man, James. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but point oh oh like 1 seconds, right? It was like it was really photo finish that he won that race. It was amazing. So he became gold medal winner of the 100 meters dash. And so when you win a 100-meter dash, like Usain Bolt, like Carl Lewis, right? You're now titled the fastest man alive, right? Because that's just what it is. So, but his marquee that he just did that on a whim, right? He just like, I'm going to do the 100 meters. His marquee one, the one that he's supposed to be expert in, is 200 meters. Come to find out, he ran it. You go to qualifiers, then you go to prelims, semifinals, and you're in the final. So he was in the final. He ran the 200 meters and expected to win. He's been dominating like for years at this event. He got bronze. And then when he crossed the finish line, everybody's shocked. You should have won. So it's sports. He basically collapsed. He was just like, oh, it was like he was on his last legs. He was breathing hard. And he just laid on the ground. Like, what is wrong with you, man? 200 meters is not that hard for you guys, man. And then they had him in the corner and they put the breathing machine on him. And he's like, what is wrong with this dude? Come to find out, he had COVID and ran the 200 meter
Wow.
at the war at the Olympics. He would not be denied, man, and basically put his health at risk. But he had to run it, and so that shows you how on two levels. Number one, being a kid and just doing stupid decisions, and he probably should have sat that out, not affect other folks. But the fact that he still won bronze and having COVID,
Yeah.
that just shows you the lengths that these athletes go to. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting story.
No, that's a beautiful story, man. And if you're not checking into the Olympics for the athleticism, there's tons of other stuff you could check out. One of them just is their stories. Most Olympians have some sort of story. If you check into their country, check into their background, how they got there. There's always a good and interesting and inspiring story. And that's why we're still talking about it, because we're interesting and inspiring people. But even if we're talking about the ladies over here, the ladies triple jump, this Thea LaFond, who won the gold in the ladies triple jump, she comes from a country called Dominica. And not the Dominican Republic, Dominica. That's a country with a population of 72,000 people. We were talking about New York. That's like a building in New York. And it's crazy that she came from this far and did her thing, and she's doing all the press for the entire country. And it's just fascinating seeing all these stories. Did you hear about her, Theo?
Yeah, I did hear about her. Yeah, it's just amazing how these folks come from all over. And then you hear their stories, man, and just to have a chance at gold, man, and you train that hard. Just inspiring, man. To your point, some of them live in their cars just in the hope to have a dream to and it's something that we all do. That's the amazing thing is some of these sports, high jump, what's the other one? Pole vaulting. I would never know how that technical difficulty on that. I would never know how to do, man. And then I was watching the shot put guys, man. Like there's some big burly guys, but then spin it around and like very balanced. It's like, where do you learn skills like that, man?
Yeah.
It's yeah, man. Everybody's got inspiring stories, man. And I know a lot of look next year where it's gonna be at, right?
In 4 years, it's gonna be hype
Oh, not
out.
next year. Thank you.
It's gonna be hype out in LA because we got
Los
the
Angeles,
Olympics.
man. And some of these celebrities, man, they gonna come out. They gonna floss out. They gonna come out and show out, man. They gonna come out and sponsor these athletes, and these athletes gonna be flossing, boy, because they gonna get everybody want to get a piece of that shine, man. That brand association. So, you
We
think
do.
Show versus Business needs to sponsor an athlete for 2028?
Hey man, if you shot put, if you do the discus, if you are on the American curling team, I don't even know if we have one. Anybody like that? That's Winter Olympics. Never mind. We'll still sponsor you. It doesn't matter.
Well, man, what about the hammer, man? That's what we need. We need the guys with the hammer, man. Woo! Go Thor.
Yeah, there's some obscure ones out there, but yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool, man. And out here in LA, big skateboarding area. Skateboarding pretty much popped off in Southern California and Northern California in some places, but a lot of the stuff happened in Del Mar to get it popping off back in the day. And I found out there was art in the Olympics at some point, and there's still this thing called the Cultural Olympiad. I didn't know about it, but every city that hosts the Olympics has this cultural initiative. So there are all types of art events and programs and things that go on in the city of the Olympics that's all about the culture, the artistry, music, theater, about athleticism and competition. I totally didn't know anything about that until Pharrell Williams brought it up and he said we should bring art back to the Olympics. And I was like, what do you mean back? But yeah, it was a thing.
That's I just thought about it. They're introducing skateboarding
Hmm.
and breakdancing. And
Hmm.
breakdancing was originated in New York. And so here we are. The two coasts are have something from in the Olympics that originated here. And unfortunately, I don't know if Americans are going to win either of those sports, but that's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
They originated here, but we ain't winning them.
Yeah. Hey, man, Japan came through with skateboarding, so props to them.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, man, Olympics, man, love it.
Anything on politics, real quick?
Politicking. Do we want to do it, man? Guys, look, we're this not a politics podcast, but come on.
What you
We
got to say,
gotta
Ryan?
say
Go
some
ahead.
things. We
Let's get
gotta
through
say
it.
some
Let's get
things.
through it.
No, I'm gonna let you say what you put on there on the show notes. I'm not gonna say that one.
Wait, I put that on there? No,
You
I didn't put
did.
that on there.
I did the second part. The one I wanted to talk about was like Kamala Harris. She has picked her VP. I don't know if you did you get a chance to listen to their speech at all, who this guy is?
No.
Yeah, yeah, he is. Yeah, let me pull it up here real quick because I should know off the top of my head. Harris Waltz. Yeah. Tim Waltz, he interesting story, man. He was the governor of Minnesota, and I guess he was a army veteran, became a teacher, and decided to run to Congress, and then won years ago. And then from there, took it to be governor. So it's just a weird, interesting story, only in America kind of thing. Someone had me laughing. It was like this guy. Have you ever seen him? He's like the traditional, like older white guy, white hair, looks old, but he is only, let's see, someone had put it on there. Let me put it up here so I can get it right. Basically, he's 1 year younger than Brad Pitt. He looks like he's way older than that. So it just goes to show you how bad some people can age without the
Yeah.
special treatments that Hollywood gets. But yeah, Waltz is one of those guys that came on board, is helping Harris kind of position herself more toward the progressive wing, if you will, because even though he's from Minnesota, this is same. Didn't you have internships in Minnesota a couple times?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Several
you
times.
know it. Yeah, what that's the state of Jesse Ventura, right? A wrestler was the governor for a little bit. So it's a different kind of state, guys. So that just goes to show you what's going on. So you got a California and a senator and a Minnesotan vice president. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do. But so Harris and Trump have finally also announced that they're going to do their first debate. It's going to be in September. So that should be very interesting. So we will see how this all works out. But yeah, man, it's gonna be this. I think it's almost less than 90 days now before the election. So I don't know, man. We just put your hat on, be prepared.
Pretty much. And I know we don't have a lot on. I want to ask you a question about streaming really quick, just to
Sure.
get this out of the way, because I've been thinking about this and people are doing deals. Netflix is teaming up with CBS Sports. Amazon and Mr. Beast are doing things. Random stat: HBO Max and Discovery have combined for 103 million subscribers. A lot of random stuff out there. Even 50 Cent with his new streaming service. Could you tell me, Theo, just a short rundown, what people should be subscribing to, what streaming services they should be getting on, and what's the major draw to each of those services if they even should be on them? I don't know.
Absolutely. There's so many different streaming services now, right? And I'm going to list them from order of importance in my family household. So,
All right.
first, we got Disney Plus. If you got kids under 12, you got to get Disney Plus. If nothing else, they get to watch all their favorite shows, cartoons, things of that nature. So, definitely that's something. Also, if you're a Star Wars fan, got to get that for Mandalorian, also some of the MCU stuff. If you want to go back and reminisce when MCU was good, go get Disney
Oh,
Plus. Yes. So next you want to look at Hulu. Hulu now is bundled a lot of times with Disney Plus. The thing I like about Hulu is that more mature content, right? That
mm,
mature. So you got shows like FX shows like The Bear that pops up on there, other like FX shows that used to be good back in the day that you can check out. But it's just got that mature content. So a lot of movies show up there. A lot of movies that never got the theater treatment, they show up there. I don't know if you remember that movie Predators, which is one of the best, excuse me, it's called Prey. It was the best Predators movie out there. It came out on Hulu right during
hmm,
the
yeah, I
pandemic.
remember that.
So they set the stage for new opportunities for new content to be delivered on Hulu. So after that, I would look at HBO Max, right? That's definitely the high watermark. It's a little bit more expensive, but you're going to get all your great stuff. Game of Thrones, got Hot D, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, also those highfalutin shows that give you a little bit more energy. I would say that would be something that if you really more prestige. But what's happening now is that they're starting to license a lot of content like The Wire, The Sopranos, to other channels. But it's
Mhm.
definitely something if you really want the latest and greatest. Next, I would go with Amazon. Amazon's got a lot of great stuff. Prime, where you get it free, but now you get ads. You got to pay $3 if you want to remove the ads. But they have The Boys, a lot of mature superhero content like The Boys, like Invincible, like Gen V. But they also got some TV shows based on books, right? Reacher, like Jack Reacher,
Yeah.
the drawing a blank there, but the whole issue with the Lord of the Rings trilogy, right? They're doing a
Yeah.
kind of simulation of that. So if you like books, go watch Amazon Prime. And finally, the granddaddy of them all, Netflix. So I listen to them last because I think that's like global television. It's almost like everyone just automatically has it. You get obviously Stranger Things, Cobra Kai, all kinds of different shows, Umbrella Academy, but then they got shows that were listed that were popular like years ago, like Suits, that just blow up all of a sudden, or Lost that pop up on there, and or some foreign show like Squid Game, right, or some other show. And so they just have so much power they can make any show almost popular, and that's the amazing thing. And also the spotlight for good comedy now. Movies, not so much, but definitely something that you want to have just to have something on the background. Then you get Netflix. So that's and I forgot. There's two more. Peacock, that's the other one. So Peacock is where the Olympics are living now. So that gives you some Olympics. But when it's not the Olympics on, they have some movies, some TV shows. What is their brand per se? It's like interesting shows by people you like, but it's not a must need. If you like Saturday Night Live, you can watch all the Saturday Night Live episodes going back to 1975. That's something that's pretty cool for you. And every now and then they have some TV shows because it's under the Universal brand banner. So if you like Minions, you like things like that, a lot of kids shows, kid movie show up there. And then Paramount Plus. So if you're a Star Trek fan, go watch that. Yeah. If you like the Sheridan shows like Yellowstone, all the, about cowboys, modern day cowboys, then you want Paramount Plus, and of course you get your movies from Paramount that pop up on there. So those are all the paid services that are the top tier. Then you got the lesser known ones like Tubi. I think Mr. Benji, you put me on there. Shout out Blacks and UFOs. Tubi's out there, but man, their interface is fire, man. That's a nice interface.
It's
If you go
gotten better.
check out, yeah, I'm impressed. And so you go, obviously, you're going to watch a lot of commercials, but they got a lot of TV shows, a lot of movies on Tubi, and it's free. And so you can watch it anytime. It's called Fast, right? We'll talk about it a little bit, but it's one of those things that allow you to see real TV shows and movies for free. So more to come, man. Yeah, that's a lot of consolidation coming, probably a lot of movement packages, bundling. But those are like the tiers of ones that I watch and stuff. And you got sub ones like AMC Plus, and you got BET Plus if you like Tyler Perry stuff all the time. So those are some of the things that's out there. Is that a good rundown? Was that enough?
Did you mention Apple TV?
Oh, I forgot
O
one.
OMG.
Cause it's
Like,
trash. No.
they gonna do Tim Cook like that. I know they cut.
They are cutting back, man. I'm trying to think. The last good one I actually saw a pretty decent one. I think I talked about on this podcast. It was what's it called? Apple TV show. It was good. It was about parallel worlds and stuff like that. Dark Matter. That was pretty good. That was the last one. And they had a TV show called Presumed Innocent. That was not as good. But Dark Matter was really good. But yeah, man, Apple TV, I don't know, man. It's there. You the one put me on the C, right? I never did CC, but I thought about it.
Putting in the notes, Apple TV, it's just there. I could like it though. It's not as hype and overblown. It's just okay. I'm going to actually watch something. I don't know. To me, I like it, but yeah, I guess it fall beneath a lot of the stuff on the list. It'd go higher for me than Paramount Plus and probably Peacock. I only need Peacock once every 4 years.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know, Mr. Benja. I have too many services. I need to get rid of them, but I don't have Paramount Plus right now. I only get those when I want to watch some good Star Trek, Lost World, or Strange New World, excuse me, or um, what's it called? Lower Decks. Those are the kind of shows I like for Star Trek right now. But yeah, I can wait for that one. Peacock, and the only reason I have Peacock now is because of Olympics. So we want to see those and see what's going on. But I'll probably drop that one. But I keep HBO on lock. I keep Netflix, Amazon Prime. Just have to because you get free shipping anyway.
Hey,
Yeah, why not? And then Disney Plus, if you're a dad, and now they bundle Hulu, so you get it all wrapped into one. So yeah, so those are like the roundups I would say. And then Apple TV, of course, you get that with part of the package. But I'll be honest with you, I can count on one hand the number of shows. And it's so funny. It's like sometimes you'll sit there, it's like, what am I gonna watch? Uh, uh, I just don't feel excited about why. I mean, I was feeling excited earlier this year because The Boys is out, Game of
yeah,
Thrones, even The Acolyte, but yeah, I'm just like, I could watch that, but let me go watch an old episode of Friends or something.
yeah. Oh man,
Yeah,
and James, if you didn't pick up on that, we might want to Apple TV. It's just there.
it's there.
Oh, yeah, that's even shorter. It's there.
It's there. Yeah, so yeah, let's put that out there. Apple TV, you guys put it out. If you put that out of marketing, our consulting fee, we'll send you a bill.
Absolutely.
What is up, man? So yeah, anything else on streaming? Did you know that Max, they're having a lot of issues going on right now? Warner
Oh,
Brothers
I,
Discovery.
I thought you wanted to wrap up. That's why I was like calming down. I didn't want any dead air, but I wanted to make sure you kept vibe. That's why I was like,
Yeah, yeah. I just want to say this: Warner Bros. Discovery, man, they just suck right now. They wrote down the value of networks. They lost 1.2 billion. They're down 10 billion for the quarter. They lost the rights to the NBA now because the TV rights went to Disney, Amazon, and Comcast. So basically, there's not going to be any more TNT games after next year. Yeah, it's just falling in the waistband, man. And obviously, we know that they're trying to get it ready to sell off, but it's just, I just don't think David Zaslav came in here with good intentions. He was trying to do a flip, but man, he has you know how you buy a house and he's like, oh, I'm going to flip this house, man. Okay, we're going to make some money on this house. He
mhm.
came in, man. He saw there was way more trash, way more. The bones weren't good in this house, man. And he had to gut it. And now he's going to be losing his shirt, man. So it's like HBO Max was a flip. And it's looking like a alligator, man. It's just going to take them down. And yeah, the stock is down tremendously. Yeah, it's $9. Oh, 99 billion brought off, but the stock is down pretty low. Yeah, so it doesn't look good for Warner HBO. They're licensing stuff. We talked about this. We got a Batman show that's popping up on Amazon, The Cape Crusader. It shouldn't do
Sleepy.
that. So it's should be on Max, but that just goes to show you, man.
Geez, I'm looking at
Yeah,
this.
man, it's just
Looking at the
too
stock
much.
chart. Back in 2022, it was up at $25. Now it's down to $7.
Oof, that's going backward 3x, not 10x. Oh man, yeah. Mr. Benji, yeah, that's all I wanted to cover, man. You got anything going on for next week?
Next week, man, I'm still plugging away. I'm moving. I'm shifting back into social mode, so I'm going to be kicking out more emails, more posts, more your boy Hormozy and Gary V. Just sometimes you just need quantity, man. So yeah, you'll be seeing more of my face out there.
Awesome, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, definitely, guys. Same here. I'm gonna be out here in these streets, posting new stuff, content. But we're always gonna stay here and do this. Is our true love, guys. So thank you, as always. We talked about at the beginning, but we're gonna keep saying it. Thank you for subscribing. Look, if you like what you hear, please continue to like, subscribe, and comment. Click that notification button if you want to see when our latest new videos out. But go check us out on Show versus Business on X, YouTube, and Instagram. Listen to us at Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts. And go check out our website sometime, Show versus Business. All right, Mr. Benja, have a good one.
Peace.